A man named Charlie used to be a famous boxer, but he now owes a lot of money to different people. What's even more, boxers have been replaced by robots, which is the reason why Charlie lost his job. He's also not very good with kids, trying to charge them $5 just to take a picture with his broken robot. He has a deal with the host named Ricky, who promises to pay him for fighting one of his bulls against Charlie's robot called Ambush. The main character is not happy with the pay and wants to fight against Ricky's best competitor while betting him $20,000 if he wins. Charlie doesn't seem to be worried one bit and begins showboating with his robot fighter. The giant bull charges at the robot, but Ambush manages to grab and slam it to the ground. The machine easily dodges the attacks and delivers an uppercut that sends the animal flying. Thinking that he has won, Charlie begins flirting with a pretty girl in the crowd, but little does he know that the raging bull knocks his robot flying, breaking off one of its legs. The animal continues to dismantle his robot as Charlie begs Ricky to stop the show. Ambush gets damaged even more and soon, it turns into nothing but a piles of scrap metal. This causes the main character to flee right away, trying to avoid paying the bet, but is approached by two men who inform him that his ex just died. He must now attend court for the custody of his son called Max. Charlie obviously doesn't care too much for the boy, since he has prepared to sign the papers, releasing his son to his ex-girlfriend's sister, Deborah. He changes his mind though, upon seeing how rich her husband is, and decides to extort him for money in exchange for the custody, essentially selling his son to their family. However, the husband will be away this summer, which prompts Charlie to charge him even more money to look after his own son for 2 months. Upon receiving the cash, Charlie buys another robot called Noisy Boy from the black market. The main character then returns home to his girlfriend, Bailey, who he owes money to as well. Charlie tries to distract her from getting him to pay up right now by using his male hormones, but Bailey tells him that she prefers money more than his chiseled body. Deborah and her husband drop off Max in the front door, and the kid is angry, not because his father just sold him, but that he didn't get part of that money. Charlie receives the new robot and proceeds to open its shipping container. A giant machine in samurai armor walks out in spectacular fashion. The man tries to use the voice control, to which the robot doesn't care about. Luckily, Max is also a superfan of robot fighting, and he successfully commands the machine by speaking Japanese, showing that it's not malfunctioning. It turns out that all there needed to do was reset the language function to English. Charlie rushes to put the machine in his truck and proceeds to head to the nearest competition, believing that this time, he'll definitely win. His son wants to tag along as well, but knew that his father would refuse to take him, so he blackmails Charlie by stealing the key to the vehicle. Without any choice, Charlie begrudgingly takes his son along for the ride. They soon arrive at this underground fighting club, and Charlie talks to the organizer, Finn, while wanting the man to give the main fight to his robot, since they used to compete in the big leagues. Max wants his father to take an undercard instead, as they never practiced using this robot before, but Charlie refuses and decides to go all in against the champion, Midas. The fighters each go to their corner as the crowd goes wild with excitement. Charlie's robot charges forward and lands a devastating blow to the opponent. Noisy Boy continues to dominate the fight and trashes the other robot left and right across the arena. As the fight continues, Charlie becomes overconfident and lowering his guard, which causes his robot to get punched across the ring. This allows the opponent to pound Noisy Boy, as Charlie is unsure of what to do now. He never familiarized himself with the robot's controls and is only now trying to look up the combinations. This causes him to use the wrong move, which conveniently allows the opponent to cut off Noisy Boy's arm. Things become even worse, as Noisy Boy's head is knocked off by the opponent as well. Max blames his father for being reckless and never giving the robot a chance to practice, since he didn't know how to use it properly. Charlie refuses to accept his own fault and blames the robot for being obsolete while venting at his son to get in the truck. Without any choices left, the two decide to go to the scrapyard and scavenge for parts to build a robot for their next fight. They look throughout the place but don't seem to find anything useful. Charlie warns the boy to be cautious as Max goes near a cliff. Suddenly, the ground breaks loose, causing Max to fall straight into the hole behind him. This causes the boy to slide downwards quickly, and just before he's about to fly over the walls, Max is hooked by a piece of metal from his back. Charlie rushes towards his son and manages to carry him over to safety, as the two embrace. Max examines the thing that saved him, and to his surprise, he discovers the body of an older robot buried in the ground. The boy wants to bring it with them, but Charlie doesn't think it's worth the effort and leaves his son to dig it out, which probably took the entire night. The next morning, Max unleashes all his anger at his father by pounding the man. The two take the robot back to Bailey, and surprisingly, she manages to make it function. Bailey explains that the machine has a shadow function, which is why the robot always seemed to mimic the movement of the person in front of it. While washing it clean, Max discovers that the robot has a name called Adam. The boy wants his father to put Adam in competition, but Charlie thinks that it's only a sparring robot, which means that it can take hits but not really deals any damage. Charlie takes his son to the Robot Fighting League and tries to get a sponsor for the new robot, but even his best friend refuses to invest in Charlie anymore, thanks to his losing records. Hopeless, Charlie walks out in anger and agrees to bring Adam to fight in the zoo where only the worst robots compete against each other. Max arrives at the junkyard and challenges the champion robot, Metro, to which its owner bets $1,000 that the fight won't last longer than the first round. The two robot fighters enter the ring and Adam gets pummeled by his enemy from the very beginning. Charlie tries to instruct his son on maneuvering the robot, but the boy's lack of experience results in Adam getting beaten up repeatedly. Charlie wants to take over and survive the first round, but Max refuses and gets the robot knocked out by a devastating blow from the opponent. As the timer counts down, Adam miraculously stands up before the last second and manages to survive the first round, earning them $1,000. The opponent wants Max to double or nothing, to which the boy agrees immediately at his father's dismay. Learning from his first round with Metro, Max commands his robot to backstep, creating an opening that was unexpected by the opponent. Adam then jumps with a double uppercut, causing the enemy to malfunction and collapse to the ground. The crowd cheers for the winner and Charlie collects the money from the opponent. While making some upgrades to Adam, Max suggests to his father to teach the robot how to fight, by letting it copy his moves. Charlie hesitates as he hasn't boxed for a long time and his last fight ended up with him losing, but after thinking about it overnight, he decided to help his son by teaching the robot his moves. Their father and son teamwork results in their victory against tougher and tougher opponents in the Underground Fighting League, which also makes them a lot of money. Eventually, they become famous enough, and the Big Fighting League offers them a fight against their national champion, Twin Cities. Before their fight, the owner of Zeus, Limkova, wants to purchase their robot for $100,000, to which Max refuses immediately. Charlie tries to convince his son to accept the offer, but Max is adamant that his robot is priceless and not for sale. Their fight begins where the national champion marches towards the ring, as the audience chants its name. Max shows no fear towards his opponent while showboating in front of the crowds. The two machines each charge towards their opponent and begins trading blows while punching each other repeatedly. Twin Cities begins to gain the upper hand and forces Adam towards the corner with its superior power and reach. Charlie has a hard time countering their moves, as they have two heads which grants them no blind spots. He eventually notices a weak spot in the opponent's shoulder and manages to counterattack while pushing it back. Adam stays close to the bigger robot and delivers multiple body shots before finishing off with a devastating uppercut that knocks the opponent onto the floor. The crowd goes wild as the major underdog just defeated the national champion in a dominating fashion. Max, still angry that Limkova tried to buy his robot, challenges their team for a fight as the woman and her designer look down in disapproval. As the two walk out of the building in victory, their celebration is ended by the arrival of Ricky, who comes to collect the debt from Charlie. The father tries to fight off but gets beaten up by the group as he tries to protect his son as well. They take all of their winnings and beats the father while the son watches. Realizing that the life he has is too dangerous for Max, Charlie decides to return the boy to his guardians ahead of time, which saddens Max greatly as he walks away in disappointment. Unsure of his decision to leave his son, Charlie goes to Bailey and seeks her advice. Charlie thinks that he's not good enough for his son, and that his foster parents have a lot of money. However, Bailey assures him that a father's love is more important than anything that money can buy. She also encourages Charlie to have the courage to fight for his son. Moved by her words, Charlie goes to Max and apologizes for what he has done. He also tells Max that he accepted the fight against Zeus, making the boy smile again. They march towards the arena as the audience cheers for the underdog of the fight. Charlie looks to the crowd and notices that Bailey has come to support them as well, which brings a smile to his face. The music begins as Zeus enters the stage, marching towards the ring with menace. The machine leaps onto the soon-to-be battlefield, towering over everything around him. The fight eventually begins and the two moves closer, but Zeus deals a devastating punch that knocks Adam straight to the ground. The underdog slowly gets up but only to receive two more punches that knocks him down again. Adam seems to have a mind of its own, and continues to get up while being dominated by furious punches from the powerful opponent that pushes it to the corner. Surprisingly, Adam manages to counter with an uppercut, stunning Zeus momentarily. He continues to fight back but his opponent regains the upper hand very quickly and continues to land punches until the bell rings, finishing the first round. Charlie rushes on stage and quickly repairs their robot with his son. The bell rings for the second round, and Adam continues to clash with Zeus. Throughout the rounds, Adam begins to deal some damage to his opponent while receiving a lot of beating in return as well. In round 4, Zeus is able to push Adam into the corner and pounds continuously, to which Charlie realizes that their voice control is damaged. Without any other options, Charlie decides to use the shadow function to finish the final round. They exchange blows at each other, but Zeus forces Adam to the corner again with a barrage of punches. The main character smiles and taunts his opponent to continue with the attacks. This causes Zeus to use all its power to try and finish Adam, but slows down quickly while losing its power from the exertion. Charlie takes the chance and delivers a fury of counterattacks, while pushing the enemy back as Zeus appears to be paralyzed. Max looks at his father and sheds tears of joy as he sees Charlie regain his passion for boxing from his past. Adam continues to attack and manages to knock out Zeus with a devastating uppercut. However, Zeus is able to get up, only to receive more punishment from Adam until the bell rings, eventually ending the fight. Although the judges gave Zeus to win after scoring, the crowd declares Adam as the people's champion. Charlie cheers with his son in victory as the crowds chant their names.